Before this story begins, understand this. Evil does not always start with cruelty. Sometimes it starts with desperation. Sometimes it begins with a simple thought. I just want a better life. This is not a story meant to entertain you casually. It is a story meant to disturb you, to make you pause, and to force you to question how far a human being can fall when greed replaces love. In the town you are about to enter, a father once held his newborn son and swore to protect him with his life. Years later, that same father would lead that same child into darkness, not because he hated him, but because he wanted wealth more than he wanted his soul. Many people believe monsters are born. This story will show you that monsters are often created slowly, silently, and painfully. As you listen, do not rush to condemn. Walk with this father, feel his hunger, hear his thoughts, watch the choices he makes one by one, until there is no turning back. Because this is not just his story. It is a warning, and by the time it ends, you may realize that the most terrifying evil is not found in forests, rituals, or spirits, but in the human heart when it stops fearing consequences. Greenwood was a modest town resting between rolling hills and thick forests. It was the kind of place where everyone knew everyone, where secrets struggled to stay hidden, and where traditions were stronger than written laws. The people of Greenwood believed in hard work, prayer, and destiny, but they also believed in unseen forces that could lift a man or destroy him without warning. Life in Greenwood was simple. Farmers rose with the sun. Traders filled the market with voices and bargaining. Children ran barefoot through dusty roads, laughing as though sorrow did not exist. At night, lanterns flickered outside homes, and stories were told under open skies. But beneath Greenwood's calm surface lived quiet desperation. Not everyone prospered. Not everyone smiled honestly, and not everyone accepted their fate. Michael was one of those men who always seemed to fall behind. No matter how hard he worked, success stayed just out of reach. His crops failed more often than they thrived. His small trading business never grew beyond survival. When fortune visited others, it passed his door without stopping. People said Michael was unlucky. Some said he was cursed. Others whispered that he lacked patience. Michael himself believed something far worse, that life had cheated him. Each day, he watched men who once stood beside him rise higher. He saw them build bigger houses, wear finer clothes, and command respect, and each time, bitterness settled deeper into his heart. I work harder than them, he often muttered. Why am I still here? Michael was married to Grace, a woman whose strength lay in quiet endurance. She did not complain about their struggles. She did not demand what Michael could not provide. She believed contentment was better than riches bought with worry. Their only son, Daniel, was the light of their home. He was curious, gentle, and wise beyond his years. His laughter filled spaces money could not. He dreamed of becoming a teacher, of helping others learn and grow. Grace often said, "As long as we have peace, we are rich enough." Michael never answered. Greed rarely arrives suddenly. It grows quietly, fed by comparison and envy. Each evening, Michael sat outside his home watching wealth roll past him. Motorcycles, cars, men greeted with respect. His thoughts became poisonous. He began to believe that honesty was foolish and patience was weakness. Whispers reached him, stories of men who visited the forest poor and returned wealthy. Men who spoke to forces beyond human understanding. At first, Michael rejected these tales, but hunger has a way of reopening closed doors. One night, driven by desperation, Michael walked into the forest to meet a man known only as Old Crow. The old man lived far from society, surrounded by charms and silence. His eyes carried the weight of forbidden knowledge. Old Crow listened without interruption. "There is a way," he finally said, "but every blessing demands payment, and some payments are beyond forgiveness." Michael did not hesitate. "I am ready." The old man's silence was heavier than words. That same night, Grace dreamed of fire swallowing their home. She saw Daniel calling her name as the ground opened beneath him. She woke up screaming. "Please," she begged Michael, "let us stop chasing shadows." Michael turned away. Greed had sealed his ears. Daniel noticed the change. His father's eyes no longer held warmth. They measured, calculated. When Old Crow finally spoke again, his voice trembled. The spirits want what you love most, he said. Your blood, your legacy. Michael's heart shook, but only briefly. In his mind, wealth had already arrived. That night, he watched Daniel sleep and convinced himself it was destiny. Michael led Daniel into the forest under the lie of prayer. The boy trusted him completely. The moon hid, the wind howled. When the moment came, Michael's hands trembled, but they did not stop. The earth groaned, a child cried, and Greenwood was changed forever. Riches came quickly. Michael's business flourished. People bowed to him, but his nights were filled with screams only he could hear. Daniel stood in his dreams, silent and accusing. Grace faded into grief, her spirit broken. Sickness followed wealth. Fire consumed Michael's possessions. A madman exposed his secret in the marketplace. Old Crow was found dead, fear frozen on his face. Michael could no longer hide. Michael confessed before the elders, collapsing in shame. I traded my son for dust, he cried. He was banished from Greenwood, stripped of name and honor. Years later, travelers spoke of a broken man wandering the forest, calling a child's name. Greenwood remained, but the lesson endured. No wealth is worth innocent blood. No power silences conscience, and no father who betrays his child escapes judgment.